So, stuff. So, to continue on with Tibor's question, because I was thinking about this during the break. So, Tibor said, how's the character generation on this game? You've heard it's meant to be quite detailed. It's detailed, but like I said, I don't think it's anything special compared to the other games that are similar to it. Hell, even other, we'll just say other games, like period. In any game, like The Sims, or any game that involves, customizing a character. I don't think what they've done here is anything special as far as character appearances or character building in general. If we can do just a direct compare and contrast between this, Baldur's Gate, Solasta, and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, which are, two games, Solasta and Pathfinder are games I have a little bit of experience with building characters. And what you have to consider, though, is when you say, are they detailed? First, you have to look at is how much money we're throwing at these games. Baldur's Gate is considered a AAA game, correct? Pathfinder may be a AA, and Solasta a single A. And usually those lettering is considered, you take into consideration how much money was put into those games and development-wise. Solasta had probably the least amount of money, then Pathfinder, and then of course Baldur's Gate, we had the most. Solasta's gotten dinged a lot for its models and this, that kind of stuff, and not a lot of options. But again, for how much money they had to spend, I think it's okay. Not the best looking characters, but they did get a little bit better over time. They've got a lot of collar options for skins and hairstyles and all this other fun stuff. Again, stuff that's not super important to me in the first place, but some people it is. So you got that. Pathfinder's a little bit better, a little bit more choices, but there's some lacking stuff there too. What's coming? You don't have like, actually this happened on Sunday. We were creating a half orc, half orcs in Pathfinder, especially females. Not a lot of hair choices. There's of course no beard choices because female. But the hair choices and even skin colors and hair colors too, for the orcs is fairly limited. Why? I don't know. Designer choice. In all honesty, I think it's just developer's choice on that one. They could have put in more stuff, because the stuff is the models for the hair and the skin color and hair color are in the game already because it's available to other races. But for the half orcs, they didn't give them as many choices, which they could have. But not a big deal. In this game, yes, there's lots of choices. You get many different hairstyles. It's not that many, though, in all honesty. They're there, and they're interchangeable between the sexes and that kind of thing. Again, I would expect that, especially out of a AAA game. They do give you a lot of options on coloring the hair in different ways. There's highlights in gray, so you can actually make your character look older than it is through giving them gray hair and that kind of stuff, which is cool. But again, AAA title, I would expect something like that. So as far as the appearance of the characters, yeah, you got plenty of choices, and again, it's fine. Again, it's not what I'm playing the game for. I'm not playing with dolls here, at least I don't think I am. So I don't really care about the appearances too much. But that's that. Now, if you want to get into actual character stats and that kind of thing, they kind of screwed up here, I think, simply because when you're creating your characters, as far as attributes go, strength, intelligence, wisdom, whatever, they limit you to that you can only have a max stat score of 17 of any attribute. For example, for Gimpy, our Wood Elf Ranger, I picked an elf specifically because elves get a bonus of +2 to dexterity. So the idea was to get him up to at minimum of 18 dexterity, if not 20. Because we're used to doing that in Pathfinder. Hell, can you do it in Solasta? I think Solasta they top out at 18 character creation. I think you have to go back to check that out. But I know for Pathfinder, top score 20. Here, 17. You can't go over 17 for any stat. Why? I don't know. The only way I can figure out why they did it was because they're basically hard forcing you, if you want to get a score of 18 or better permanently on your character, is you have to throw feat points at it, and feats are limited. And because you get your first feat at 14, you get another one at 8, right? And so there's a specific feat that allows you to add 2 points to one stat or 1 and 1. So you can go 2 points into dexterity, because we did for Gimpy, got his dexterity from 17 to 19. But we could have went 1 point for 18 and put another 1 point somewhere else if we wanted to. But I specifically want to try to get to dex 20 eventually. So I think that's very heavy-handed to force people to not, min-max and stuff. I don't agree with it, just to be honest, because the other games don't do it. And I don't know what the thinking is there, other than to force you to, if you want high stats, of 18 or better, you're going to have to throw feats at it, which is a sacrifice, because you're basically giving up another ability to do something else. And there's not a lot of feats that actually boost up your attributes either. Like in Solasta, there's a number of feats that you can take a feat and it'll give you a 1 point bonus to your constitution to a maximum of 20, or strength, or dexterity, that kind of stuff. But there's a number to choose from. Here, there's not a lot to choose from that do that. So again, very heavy-handed, I think, and not a fan of it, just to be honest. Also, what they didn't do is, and this is a big no-no to me, simply because Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, when you create your characters, you can do dice rolls. If you want to spend all night trying to get 3, 6, 18, or 3, 4, 8, whatever, how many 18s do you want, you can spend all night trying to do it. There's no way to do that in this one. Solasta has a dice roll option. Pathfinder doesn't, but Pathfinder's got a very different system anyway, as far as stats and stuff are concerned, or attributes. But in Solasta, they've got, you can build your character, with points like they do here, and in Pathfinder, or you can, roll dice, and you can roll until you get whatever you want. What your perfect thing is. Wait until you get 1 or 2 18s and a couple of 17s or whatever, and you're good to go. For some reason, they didn't put it in this game, and I have a feeling it's related to this whole limiting stats to 17. And why, I don't know. I haven't seen or heard any reason why you would limit people like that. So, but again, we're still early in the game. Maybe there is a reason to it, but as far as I can tell, there isn't. Other than they are, whatever reason, specifically, intentionally limiting characters' abilities as far as getting bonuses and stuff. So I don't know why, but who knows. Anymore. But as far as, as like creating characters and whatever, yes, you got choices and you got appearances to play around with and whatever, and everything looks good. I mean, again, it's a AAA title. It's pretty much what I expect. But like I said, the character creation portion, that was, like I said, fairly unexpected and unwelcome, to tell you the truth. So, but you can still got lots of other stuff to play around with. It's not a huge deal, but yeah, as you can see. An odd selection of choices. Thanks for your honest thoughts. Oh, you're welcome. So, and trust me, if you ask other people who are more into the tabletop of Dungeons and Dragons with 5e and stuff, they find way more stuff to be critical about than I do, because I don't play the tabletop. My only exposure to 5e is through Solasta, so I can compare video games to video games, and it's interesting to see what choices each developer has made. And I won't say who's made the better choices or not, because again, I don't play the tabletop, so my experience is just playing the games. And so far, these characters pretty much feel like the same ones over in Solasta, except that here we seem to be low. It feels like we're leveling up slower, but I think that's because the game is just bigger. Solasta is very much you're on a path and you pretty much stick to that path. This one, you seem to be able to branch off and do other stuff. You don't have to follow the storyline directly. You got lots of side stuff to deal with, and which is good. Not, that's what I'd expect of the game with, again, a AAA title. This is pretty much delivering what I would expect, with as much money has been thrown at it. So there's that. But other than that, I think we're fine. We do need some help